Hello, I'm Julie Kernan, President and CEO of Business Volunteers Maryland. Welcome to Doing Good Better. This is our podcast micro conversation series where we spotlight people in Baltimore and the surrounding areas who are doing really great things and maybe not necessarily getting the attention that they deserve. So today it is my honor and pleasure to welcome our guest, Bradie Barr. She is the president of Transamerica Stable Value Solutions. She's responsible for the Baltimore committee for Aegon Transamerica Foundation, and she's a really, really good friend to Business Volunteers Maryland. She currently serves on the boards of the Maryland Zoo, the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, and Center Stage, all of those nonprofit boards, which is so impressive and incredible that you have that much energy. Welcome, Bradie.
Thank you, Julie. It's good to be here. I appreciate being included.
Well, it's so nice to see you in this format. So Bradie, tell us, how are you doing good better?
Well, I mean, you mentioned my board service, so I think that's probably the obvious answer. I serve on 3 boards, and I served on a few more boards, including Business Volunteers Maryland. But as I approach my 60th year of life, it's probably good for me to wind down a little bit, and so I gave up a few board seats. But I really focus on boards that really are doing things in the community around youth development, really kind of addressing some of the concerns around inclusion and diversity, and really just trying to make the community a healthier, happier place. And I feel like my talent is probably business management, certainly not building houses or using power tools. So this seemed like a good way for me to give back, was to take that business acumen I have and apply it to my board service.
Well, and I've personally witnessed that commitment and dedication. As you noted, you served on our board, and we're always a driver and a connector. And that is a great value for a board member to be able to recognize places they can help launch the organizations that they support and serve. So thank you for that. We are still realizing benefits from that.
My pleasure, and I miss you guys.
Well, we miss you too, but we know that you're still there in the background helping us out. So you noted that you serve on these boards. What is it that drives you personally to engage that way?
Actually, Julie, I love this question because it gives me a chance to talk about my hero, who is my grandmother.
Oh.
My grandmother, her name was Uh-Oh. Yeah. And if you knew her, it would make total sense. And I know we don't have time for me to tell you why she's named Uh-Oh, but just suffice it to say, if you knew her, it would make perfectly good sense. But my grandmother was one of these women that just, when something needed to be done, she jumped in and did it. She devoted her whole life to community service. And I kind of created my life motto, see a need, meet a need. And that's really kind of how I go about living my life. And I learned early on that, you can do little things to help out, but by contributing at the board level, where I can do fundraising, development, connecting people, from different businesses and nonprofit organizations together, that really was just a kind of a bigger bang for my buck, if you will, to serve in that way. And so I really am living my life's motto, which was inspired by Uh-Oh.
I love that. Uh-oh. That's fantastic. I love uh-oh. And that's such an important point that you made. A lot of people write checks, and we love checks. We really appreciate receiving checks. And I know I can speak for other nonprofits when I say that. But when people are willing to step up and to actually engage in the community and give their intellectual capital as well as their financial capital, it really makes a huge difference in the capacity of the organization. You kind of lift the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Really important. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
And as we noted, you really are a driver for some of the energy that Transamerica puts into our community. So how has that engagement improved the company's performance?
Yeah, that's a great question, Julie, because I think I want to be very clear, because the reason Transamerica has its philanthropic focus, it's not about marketing dollars. I mean, obviously, there's some residual benefit of having our name and our logo out there supporting the community. But really what drives us is creating healthier environments, healthier communities where our employees work and live. And happy, healthy communities make happy and healthy employees, which ultimately impacts the level of the quality of service that we give to our customers. And so that's really what drives us. It's really about community health, employee health, customer health. And that's really what drives it. It's not about, is there some kind of, advertising benefit we get through all of this. It's really, how does it impact the people in our community?
That's awesome. That's great. And we've seen that you've put your employees through some of the programs that we sponsor and support. So our Give Fellowship, for example, is a program that Transamerica has supported as long as we can remember. So what are some of the things that you've seen or experienced through your employees' participation and engagement in those types of programs?
So I think the obvious thing benefit that we see as a company is we have employees who, once they're more engaged in the community, they're more engaged with Transamerica, and there's benefit. They see, then here's a company who supports me in engaging in the community, and through the business volunteers programs that our team's been through, they really are, becoming more involved in Baltimore. And so it gives them more of a long time commitment to the community here and ultimately to Transamerica. But I think there's kind of a residual benefit, and that's it's in the leadership development. And Julie, we've worked together, and we put some leaders in our, in our workforce. They're leaders in our workforce, and we've had them, work with you to find a board that fits them for board engagement. And the skills that they develop in being a leader on a board, whether it's communication skills for running meetings, understanding the fiduciary responsibilities that they take on when they're on the board, all of that ultimately morphs into skill sets that they bring to their job. And so while it's not the reason that we like to see our employees engage in boards and in community service, it certainly is a benefit that ultimately impacts us at Transamerica.
Right. It's a natural outcome when you are sitting across the table from people who have a very different background, very different life experiences. You come to appreciate diversity, and then you do bring that to the office. So you can't help but benefit from that perspective.
Exactly.
So you made a comment about your employees committing to Baltimore, and that was something that kind of piqued my interest because you're a transplant to Baltimore. I'm not sure that anyone could pick up on your Southern accent. And I know your accent is only loosely tied to where you were before here, but tell us about what coming here from Louisville. I know that's a stop on many stops for you, but what was your biggest surprise about Baltimore?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to correct you. It's not Louisville, it's Louisville. Like you got marbles in your mouth. Louisville.
Louisville.
And I am also
Louisville.
Yeah, and I'm also going to correct you on my Southern accent, because give me 10 minutes with my Virginia family and you will be like, oh wow, is she as about as Southern as they come? But actually it's kind of the Southern thing. Then when we came from Louisville, we're like, oh, we're moving north. I mean, this is up north. And, we had, there's the stereotype that Northerners a little bit more fast paced, maybe more brusque. And when we arrived in Baltimore, we were just floored with the kindness and the humanity of the people. We have such a tight network of friends just living here in Federal Hill. During the pandemic, thank goodness for our neighbors and, gathering in the alley, masked up, 6 feet apart, but just having that connection. And we have just found such a connection in the people and just how warm they are. And people step up. It's an amazing community. And it was a surprise to us. And I will say, people don't know that I'm not from here, because I consider myself a Kool-Aid drinker, and I arrived here and I drank purple Kool-Aid and orange Kool-Aid, and I'm a huge Ravens and probably even a bigger Orioles fan. And it's all been in Baltimore embraced me, and I embraced Baltimore.
Well, I think knowing you as well as I do, that Baltimore embraced you because you are embraceable and you bring
Oh,
so much warmth to
you use
every
it.
conversation. I drink the Kool-Aid too. All right, Brady, we're going to move to our speed round. And frankly, this is the part
Okay.
where I get to ask you any question and you have to answer it. And it tends to just give people a little bit of a clue about you. So it's not related to Transamerica at all. It's
Okay.
just about Brady.
Okay. And you'll be editing this, right?
Maybe. It depends. Okay, Brady. So what's the favorite golf course that you have ever played?
At the risk of bragging, Augusta National.
That's not bragging. That's amazing. So you actually played Augusta, not just went to the Masters, you
No,
played.
no, it was a once in a lifetime chance, and I'm so grateful I got to do it. And I actually played it before they had women members, so
Wow.
so I got to actually use the Masters Champions locker room because they didn't have a ladies locker room at the time. So
That's a great story. Very good. So what's your bucket list golf course, the one that you hope to play?
well, Pebble Beach had been on my bucket list, and my wife took me there for my 50th birthday, so which was a number of years ago. So that kind of scratched that one off my bucket list. But I have a hankering to go to Pinehurst, and I want to play Pinehurst #2. I've got some work to do on my game before I can play Pinehurst #2, but that's probably now on my bucket list.
Well, I've seen your game and I think you're ready for Pinehurst #2. All right, Brady, if you could eat only one thing going forward, what would it be?
Oh, there's two things: pizza and Cheez-Its.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that you were a Cheez-It person. I'm a Cheez-It person.
It's Cheez-It. It's
Yeah.
not Sunshine. I mean, it's
No
Sunshine
cheese
Cheez-It.
nibs or whatever those are. No,
Yeah, and those organic things they have out,
no,
no.
they're not
Give
good
me
either.
the original Cheez-It.
Yeah.
That's so it's either that or pizza.
Well, put them together. Put some Cheez-Its on a pizza and you're golden.
Yeah, the Cheez-Its will last on the island. We always talk about what food we take on the island, and mine is always Cheez-Its. And they have a pretty good shelf life.
They do. Indeed. Indeed, they do. Brady, say a word in Spanish.
Hola.
Hola. All right. And finally, what is your favorite of the seven dwarfs?
Happy.
Of course, it's happy because you are happy.
Oh, you know what a challenge that is? You have to literally go into your head, oh my gosh, who are the seven dwarfs?
Yeah, I know. I only think of Dopey.
What does that say about you?
I don't know. I'm sure someone could analyze that for us. Brady, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with Doing Good Better. And thank you for all you are doing to make
Thank you.
Baltimore and the surrounding community so much better. It's a pleasure to spend time with you.
I always love spending time with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.